All right, so it has been a minute. It has been quite a minute. It has been a week and a half about since the last time I streamed. I just got back from a nice little cruise around the Caribbean. Went around to some neat little places, some fun little places, had a good old time. Got a little bit of sun. I don't know if it's maybe just the lighting of the camera, you know, because of the red shirt or something. Whoever knows. I'm no savant when it comes to the technology of streaming. I'm still trying to get all this situated, but I believe I look a little bit darker. You know, I got a little bit of a sunburn. The shoulders and back are still a little bit tender and just a little bit darker overall, I feel. But it was nice. It was nice. And while I talk about this, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into our Victini hunt here because we need to get a new shiny. We have not gotten a shiny in a hot minute. You know, we got our shiny Dialga a little bit ago. It's been a second since we got our shiny Dialga over there in Pokemon Diamond. So we want another one to start. We really need to steamroll this here Shiny Living Dex because we do not want to be here for an immense amount of time. No, we do not. We want this Shiny Living Dex to go as quickly as possible because obviously 649 Pokemon with 1 in 8,192 odds will never be quick, but we can try and make it quicker. We'll get there eventually. I have been doing Kaizo. I've completely derailed from the talk of the trip, but what's new with me? I get derailed very quickly. Shoot, I just got so derailed I can't even remember what I was saying in any remote capacity. I've been doing Kaizo Ironmon in Pokemon White 2. Which one? Yeah, White 2. And I decided not to do that today because I wanted to do a little bit more of a chill stream, a little bit more of a casual return to streaming instead of all the high octane craziness that is Kaizo Ironmon. I just thought, you know what, we'll look for a Shiny Victini here, have a nice little chill stream, maybe chat away, talk about what's going on. I guess I'm not really caught up with anything that's happened in the last week and a half because I was without a phone for basically the entire time. So any major news related to anything I probably have not heard about. So I'm a little bit in the dark on where things are at. And in today's day and age, 13 days is a long time to go without any news, without any updates about anything. So I do got some catching up to do. Don't believe anything new on the front of the Switch 2. I think I've heard that pre-orders finally started in the US. They got that squared away, I guess. I'm not pre-ordering one. I'll try and buy one at some point. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. What else? I guess I can go back to the cruise. Go back to talking about the good old trippy trip. So we went on a Carnival cruise. Nice little Carnival Vista. It has been a hot minute since I've been on a Carnival cruise. I've only ever been on one once before in my life, which was way back like 7th grade, maybe 8th. I think I was in middle school. It was a while ago. Probably a good 15 plus years ago, which that was the only cruise I'd ever been on before. And then, you know, a couple of years back, Emily and I went on one with her family, and this one was also with her family. Last one was on Royal though, Royal Caribbean. This one was Carnival. We went to good old Aruba, Curacao, and the Dominican Republic. It was supposed to be Turks and Caicos. We were supposed to be going to Grand Turk, but it got changed last second, and so we ended up going to the Dominican Republic instead. But that actually worked out because we really enjoyed Amber Cove there in the Dominican Republic. That was probably our favorite excursion. But yeah, and Aruba was a little, we'd heard great things about Aruba, but then our boat was a little bit late. Our ship, I think some people would be offended if you call it a cruise ship a boat. Our ship was a little bit late getting there, so we docked a little late, got off the boat late, and that ended up causing us to miss our excursion because it was booked third party, was not through Carnival. So the people hosting the excursion were like, well, we've got people from different, you know, here, there, everywhere's trying to get on this excursion, and you are taking too long, so we are leaving without you. We got a refund, but they did end up leaving, so we had to do a little bit of an impromptu change of plans for that day, and we ended up just going to a beach, which I think it wasn't like a terrible beach. I mean, it's a Caribbean island beach. It was, you know, nicer than the beaches we have here on the east coast of the US. That is for certain. But wasn't like the greatest beach I've ever been to in the Caribbean. You know, in terms of the water was less clear than normal. The last time I remember, it was actually fairly murky. It was still blue, you know. Freaking ocean over here on the east coast is brown, straight up brown. Still blue, just kind of a little murky, a little hazy. And yeah, it was just kind of a very generic beach that a lot of people were at. There weren't really any options to do anything. We were just kind of sitting there at the beach. So not a terrible day, but it wasn't exactly what we intended. You know, the intention was going to like this like cave pool or something to swim around in, which is pretty cool. Doing like a little island tour, hitting a more secluded beach and like this natural made bridge or something like that. And then, so not getting to do that was a little bit of a bummer. And then the beach ended up just being kind of like packed of people and nothing really, no real food or drinks or anything there. So it was fine. Of the 3 places we went, it was our least favorite. Nothing bad happened, you know, other than accidentally and unintentionally missing our, or I shouldn't say unintentionally, no fault to our own missing our excursion. So it was fine. Still a beautiful place, you know. Curacao was the next one we went to, and that was pretty cool. We did a walking tour, and that was a lot. That was a lot of walking. It was luckily not as bad for the climate as it could have been. It was actually overcast, which our tour guide was saying was pretty uncommon. It is normally very hot, very much sun beating down on you. It was still humid, so it could have been worse, but it was still pretty humid. It was still, you know, probably like low 80s, I want to say, something like that maybe. So there was definitely a sweating afoot, but it was nice. It was really nice. They have really cool architecture. It's basically like Holland or Amsterdam. I'm gathering this from what, you know, the Dutch is what we were told. They were, you know, just be a Dutch colony, and so they gather a lot of inspiration from what they have over there. And so the houses are very brightly colored, and every house is like a different color. So it's just like, you know, you got your blues, and then your pinks, and then your yellow, and then one's orange, and then it's back to blue, and then it's green, and it's just a really cool architecture design. It was a nice city area. We were going around there in Curacao. I ate lionfish, so that was pretty neat and interesting. If you don't know what a lionfish is, it's like one of those things. They kind of just like sit on the bottom of the ocean around coral, and they like blend into the coral, and they have like these barbs all over them that are pretty poisonous. I don't think they will not decease you, but they will potentially, you could lose a limb, or maybe, I think they said, like if it's a severe enough reaction, it'll hurt like hell, they said. And in severe cases, you like maybe could get numbness or something like that. But they obviously remove all the barbs and the poison and stuff, and then they cook up the lionfish, and it was pretty tasty. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good time. And they have this cool bridge there that's like floating on the water. It's not a, you know, not a drawbridge or whatever where it opens up like this. It's like floating on the water. When a boat needs to come by, it like turns out of the way, and it'll do that while people are on it. So you can be walking across, and they'll be like, you know, some lights will go on and be like, okay, stop moving, and then the bridge will move for a little bit. And then once the boat goes by, it moves back into place, and you just continue on. And it's pretty neat. Let's see, what else was there? We got some we got this like little, I guess, ice cream kind of thing they make there that is a common treat for people. I got a pina colada flavored one, and it was really good. It was really freaking good. What else? Also just tried some like chocolate they have made there, a little chocolate chocolatey. What is the word I'm looking for there? A chocolate making place. I don't know. I'm blanking on what that would be called. Which was pretty freaking good. It was pretty good. Emily got a burger there. She got a veggie burger. A little burger joint they had, a little local burger place they had there, which she really enjoyed. So yeah, it was a good time just walking around, learning about their history, learning about their culture, seeing the cool architecture, doing some shopping. Well, you know, Emily did some shopping. I didn't realize I don't really do shopping like that when I go on vacation. Like I might buy a souvenir or two, maybe. But I don't ever buy shirts or anything like that, or hats. Like Emily got a few shirts here, there. She got some magnets. I got one magnet from my mom. Whenever I go traveling on places without my parents, I always get my mom a magnet or something. If it's a place she's never been to, you know. If I'm going somewhere that she's been, then I'm not grabbing that. So got her a little magnet from Curacao that has like the different colored buildings on it. So that was pretty cool. Let's see what else. Yeah, there was really just a lot of walking that day. A lot of walking, a lot of shopping. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else to report on there. It was a good day. We really enjoyed the tour and everything. Our tour guide was really great, really knowledgeable. Had a great flow to the conversation. He really knew his stuff. Also, when we met the guy, I figured he was around my age. I was like, oh, this is, you know, he's probably like around 30, I would imagine. No, then he introduced himself and said he was 42. I was like, bro, you look really young. Like I would have sworn you were around my age. Evil Mario Than. So I have removed the shiny lock. I'm using some action replays that I have. So I have my physical DSs plugged in to the computer, and I found a shiny lock removal code. So, you know, hopefully the code is working properly. I got it from a YouTube video where they found a Shiny Victini using the code, and then someone else has informed me that they also had success with the code. So yeah, the shiny lock should be removed, and it's just base odds then. With the shiny lock gone, it should be base odds of the 1 in 8,192. And it'll be incredibly disheartening if I got it wrong somehow. If I somehow messed it up. Because yeah, I thought about that going into this hunt. I was like, man, if I do not remove the shiny lock correctly, I'm going to look like a massive fool, spending who knows how many thousands of encounters until I'm like, okay, did I mess up here? Yeah, so let's see, Curacao. Yeah, it was a great tour. We spent a number of days at sea. It was a like 8-day cruise or something, but only 3 ports, so we were at sea for 4 total days. I guess really 5 total, with like the first and last day being like a half day, leaving and coming back. How much am I going over odds before checking? I've told myself that if I get to if I get to 10,000, I'm definitely going to be checking to make sure. Shoot, if I get 2 odds, I'll probably check. But if I get to like 20,000, that's when I'm really going to start panicking. That'll be when I'm really like, oh snap, did I mess this up? Did I get this wrong? Because like since Tepig took so long, it took me almost 18,000 encounters to get Tepig. I kind of have to acknowledge that like shiny hunts can just take a while. So yeah, if I get to odds, I'll definitely check. I probably should just double check now to be safe. But definitely once I get to odds, I'll double check to make sure that I did the whole code thing correctly. And if I eventually get to 20,000, that's when I'm gonna that's when I will start doing some more heavy research to be like, is this actually going to work? Is there a better code I could use? Let's see. And then the final destination for the cruise was the Dominican Republic, which was a little bit of a detour, not what we were initially anticipating. But that one was our favorite by far. We got bussed off to this nice little kind of private beach. Like there was maybe 40 total people from the cruise at this little beach place. So that was pretty nice, for a fairly good beachfront area. 40 people dispersed pretty easily. And it was just like really nice beach area, because I don't know if anyone's ever seen Moana. Pretty popular movie, so likely to have seen it. But if you haven't seen Moana, inside of the reef, like, you know, area closest to like the island where you like hang out the most, is like really calm. Like there's like no waves and the water is just kind of like low the entire time. It's like a solid like 2 to 3 feet, maybe 4 feet at some points, 2 to 4 feet deep, for like a good distance. Like it probably goes for a good 400 or 500 feet. Like it is a, you know, nice little inlet, and the water is just so calm and low, and there's like little fish swimming around, and it's just so, the water was like really clear, really blue. You know, you couldn't really go past the seaweed area, but nah, I mean, there wasn't really a need to, because like at a certain point it does become like a traditional, you know, beach with all the waves and, you know, all that. But it was just like so relaxing. Like the sand had shells all in it, so Emily and I were like hunting for shells. It was a great time. It was a great time. I think there was a solid like hour. I didn't have my phone on me. I wasn't really checking time too much, so I don't know exactly how long, but I think I spent a solid hour, if not an hour and a half, basically sitting in one spot in the water, just kind of like chilling. Like I just went and sat down, like probably right, the water came, when I sat down, came up right below my shoulders, and I was just sitting there, just, you know, in the nice calm blue water, just looking around, looking at the waves in the distance, just observing nature. And it was very tranquil. It was very nice. It was a good time. And they served us food, you know, some drinks. All I had was one Coke. I decided not to do any alcohol on that excursion. I'm not a big drinker to begin with, so, you know, on most days of the cruise I had 1, maybe 2 drinks. There might have been one day where I had 3, but they were never like at one time. It's like have 1 drink here, and then 4 hours later I have another, and stuff like that. But the food was really good. It was a nice little kind of buffet. They had my favorite thing they had was this chicken lasagna. Never had lasagna with chicken, but it was really good. And they had these like deep fried yuca things, the little wedges that were really, really good. Let's see what else. What do they have? They had another number of stuff. They had some coleslaw that I liked. It was a nice day. It was a nice relaxing day. Other than, I guess, the end of the trip, the drive back to the port was a little weird. This family, it was a very small shuttle. Like it was very small. It was very compact. There wasn't a lot of room. And this one family clearly had been drinking a lot, which I don't know the whole situation of what happened, because like we got on the bus, we seemed like everything was good. We were waiting for the final, you know, group of people to get on, and like they just instantly got on and seemed to have some kind of issue. Don't know where it stemmed from. They were like mad at the bus driver at first, because like they were telling them there wasn't enough room for everyone. They're like, well, we all drove over here on this bus, why isn't enough room? They had been drinking a lot, so like you could tell it wasn't just your typical anger. It was, you know, I've had probably a little bit too much to drink and don't really have control of myself kind of anger. And so they just get on in a bad mood, in an angry mood, which I guess it's fair if like you did all come together on one bus to the trip, and then like some other group of people decided to load onto the bus, taking seats and then causing like people to get left behind. I do understand the frustration, but like there's a certain way to handle things, and when you're very deep into the booze, you don't tend to handle things as well as you maybe should, although a lot of people don't handle things very well when they're off of it either. But yeah, so they were already mad when they were getting on the bus, and then like one of the ladies tried sitting next to another lady, and it didn't seem like there was any issues. Like she just sat down, but then like the lady from the family who had been drinking, she was like got all upset at the lady she sat next to, and the lady, and she was like clearly sitting like halfway out of the seat, and she was mad about something, and the lady was like, no, I just moved. Like I wasn't really paying attention, but like the one other lady who had already been on the bus was like, oh, I was just moving because you kind of sat on me a little bit. Like, you're fine, it's all good. But like, I don't know, there was like an issue there, and then they moved that lady up, the drunk lady, up to the front, and then like they spent basically the rest of the bus ride just bitching and complaining and yelling, and they were very drunk. And then the dad was, I guess, causing a lot of issues for everyone, including the family, and they were all hating on him. And the mom was like, I wish I left my husband at home. And they were all like, can y'all get rid of him? Like they were loud, obnoxious, drunk, and just causing a whole mess on the way back home. And it just made the very cramped bus ride, van ride, even more uncomfortable, because it was just like, okay, look out the window, avoid eye contact. They haven't found any issue. We were like, our group was like the only issue, only group on the bus they didn't find any issues with. So we were trying to just avoid them at all costs, even though they were like kind of sitting right next to us and in front of us. And one of them was sitting in the back with Emily's little brother and her parents. So we were just kind of sitting there like, okay, don't get involved. Let's just get out of this and go back and do some shopping and then get on the boat. So yeah, that was an experience. That was an experience for sure. But otherwise, it was a very nice little trip. It was a very nice excursion. We enjoyed Amber Cove. It was very, very cool. Very cool. But then the boat itself was it was nice. It was nice. It was a good cruise. You know, for like 4, basically 5 cruising days. It was pretty nice on the boat. No real complaints there. As normal, like with cruises, the staff are all incredible. Like they're all super friendly, super helpful. They do a lot. Like the staff are really top notch. So no complaints about any staff members on the boat. They were all, which I'm not really one to ever complain about much. Which, you know, being on a cruise. Cruises do tend to attract a lot of older people, especially old white people, and I did hear a lot of them complaining, which, surprise, surprise, older white people complaining about something. And by older, I don't mean like people in their 40s and 50s. I mean like people who were clearly retired in their like 70s and 80s who always found some issue or another. You know, always heard one of them complaining about something, either being too loud or not being done properly how they wanted, or this, that, the other. It was yeah, you know how people are. You know, the old Karens and the Craigs. I don't know what word you would use for a male version. What is, I don't know. What is the male version of Karen? I don't know what the name would be. Anyways, I personally never had any complaints. I thought they were all top notch and amazing. And so, yeah, it was a good time. It was good food. You know, we did the dining a decent bit because that was, you know, always enjoyable. Nice menus every day, which we didn't go every day. We went probably maybe every other day. We went to like the dinner dining room. Most of the time, though, we just did the good old buffet, which always had some, you know, great food as well. They also had some little extra things here, there. They had like a Guy Fieri's burger place, which was really freaking good. I got a burger from there a number of times, and they were quite dang good and satisfying. They're pretty freaking solid. Sorry, I'm like, my contacts are bothering me, which is just something, I guess, I don't know, it has something to do with like the inside of my house, maybe it's humidity or something like that. The entire cruise I was wearing contacts basically the whole time, because, you know, you want to wear sunglasses because it's pretty bright and sunny. I never really had much of an issue ever with my contacts. Like, I was wearing them all day, every day, no problem. And I've been wearing these for about 30 minutes now, and they're like drying out, and I'm having to blink a bunch, and my vision's going blurry. Like, it has to be something with like the inside of my house drying out my eyes or something like that. Because it's like lack of humidity. I live in the southeast, so you would assume it'd be like humid. Whatever. Yeah, they had a Guy Fieri's burger stop, so that was pretty dang good. Got those a number of times. What else do we have? I'm trying to think. I had beef Wellington, maybe for the first time ever. I don't know if I've had beef Wellington before. I really can't remember. But if I had it before, it never stood out and wasn't very good because this one was supreme. This one was superb. This beef Wellington was really, really nice. Probably the best thing I ate the entire trip. It was really good. It was really solid. There was a barbecue place on, I just realized there was a barbecue place on board that I never actually tried. I don't think I ever went over there and tried it. But they had like 2 different unlimited like noodle bars or whatever you call for the lunchtime. One was, you know, Asian based, like Japanese, Chinese based, and then the other was Italian. Emily wasn't much of a fan of the Gigi's Asian Kitchen, as it was called. She didn't really like it, but she really enjoyed the Italian. She thought it was good. I thought it was good too. I personally liked the Gigi's a little bit more. I liked the meal that I got. But they were both good. I mean, they were both good, don't get me wrong. We then well, what else is there to say about the cruise? Oh my god, my contacts are just freaking bothering me all of a sudden. It's so annoying. Like, why do they do this? It's so annoying. I thought maybe I'd be good. I was like, oh, I did a whole week with them and I'll be fine. You know, it's no big deal. Nope. Can't even get through 30 minutes of the stream and my eyes are already like drying out. I like feel like I need to take them out because they're bothering me. So lovely, so lovely. Completely derailed my own train of thought. Goodness. Oh, I was thinking about food. Duh, I'm always thinking about food. Internally thinking about some stuff right now, trying to decide on. I was wanting to do a more casual, calm stream, but it is not seeming like anyone wants to join me on that. So maybe I should go over to. Well, I don't have any Kaiser Iron thumbnails made or anything. I guess we'll keep going. We'll keep locking on this Victini, see if we can get something to be shiny. Maybe if I get bored enough, maybe we'll throw the unknown back into the mix. You know what? Let's do that. Let's get unknown back up and running here. What am I doing here? I'm trying to think about what to do. So let's go over to my 3 setup. We want to add our good old unknown hunt to Zaya. Oh, I gotta bring up the window for that. Where are you, good old windy window? That is not it. It is this one. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 dun, dun, dun. Okay. All right, now I need to get our, where is it? Windowed projector, you bring you up out of the way over here, and we're gonna start up our unknown hunt as well. We're gonna start this up. Okay, now we are good and locked and loaded and good to go. that did in fact add our good old encounter there. And now, of course, I'm all tired all of a sudden. Which, it was a long week. It was a long week. We got back in pretty late last night, and I almost immediately hit the hay and went to bed. I was freaking exhausted. I was very tired. So yes, we did a number of comedy shows on the boat too, so that was pretty cool. Those were pretty fun. We saw 2 kid-friendly shows, and then I guess technically it was 2 adult shows, but one of them had 2 acts, so it was like technically 3 in total. Which the first guy, he was PG friendly. It was for 18 and under. Or basically everyone. He was pretty good. He was pretty solid. Thought he was funny. The second guy, that was a 18 and older showing. It was just me, Emily, and her parents. Her little brother was off. He actually had some classmates who were also on the boat, so he hung out with them a little bit. Second showing was, it was like one of those guys where it almost seemed like he was trying too hard to be mature and X-rated and pushing the line, and I don't know, his jokes just didn't land for me. They weren't very good to me. They came across as trying to disguise mediocre humor as funny by being loud and obscene, dropping weirdly placed expletives and stuff like that. It was just it wasn't the worst comedy I've ever seen, but it certainly wasn't good. I didn't think. There were some jokes here, there were some moments that were okay, that's kind of funny, but most of it was it's kind of a bad joke. You just tried to sell it as funny by dropping a loud, F-bomb in there or something. But then the third guy, which the third show was again PG, although Emily's little brother did not go to that one with us, so it was still just us adults, but it was a PG show. It was funny, but it was funny in the end a lot because of he was doing crowd work stuff. He brought up kids that were in the audience and asked them questions and interviewed them, but then had them bring up the parent that they had with them that they thought would get the most embarrassed by being on stage. And then they did the whole ask the kids a question to get their answer and then see if the parents know the answer as well. And it was just funny because it was set up as one kid brought his mom up on stage, but then the other girl brought her dad up. And so it was kind of staged as well, obviously dad's not going to go know anything about his daughter. But the mom is going to, know everything about her son. And it probably, would have gone that way. I think the comedian was a little bit generous to the dad. But, with the favorite color question, because I think you could see on the dad's face he didn't genuinely know. But then the comedian was it's a very girly color. And so the dad was oh, pink. And I was yeah, okay, it's pink. But the mom didn't need any help. It was what's your son's favorite color? Red. Okay, well, yeah, that's correct. But I think they both got their kids' favorite food wrong. Now, granted, that one is a tough one because on any given day, my favorite food could change, and people around me might not know now. So that one's a tough one because you can think what someone's favorite is, but if they just decide on that day when the question is asked that they have a different favorite, then it's oh, well, I guess okay, now I got that wrong and I look like I don't know my person. I think they also both got wrong what the mom got wrong what the son likes to watch the most. The comedian asked what's your favorite thing to watch? And it could have been a TV show or a movie. Also gave the options of YouTube and TikTok. and the boy said YouTube and the girl said TikTok, and the dad got TikTok correct, but the mom thought the boy's favorite thing to watch was football, which, to be fair, the kid did say he wanted to be an NFL wide receiver when he grew up, so I can see why she would think watching football would be his favorite thing, because he has aspirations of playing football. Then what was the other question? Oh, oh, I guess I already talked about the food one. What was one? I don't remember what the final question was. Oh, it was they asked the kids to say how much like they thought their parents had drank on that on the cruise. And yeah, the boy said his mom had drank an average amount, medium amount, as comedian put it, and the kid said he was like medium, and the girl was like, my dad's drank a lot. And they both said a little. Both the parents were like, oh, I've drank a little, and with the mom it was like, oh well, the son said a medium bit, which is like not the worst thing in the world. But I think dad might have been lying for himself there, because he looked pretty hammered. He had a drink in his hand when he tried to walk up onto the stage, and the comedian told him to set it down. So like, I think he had drank a decent bit on that cruise and was kind of saving face on the stage. But his daughter outed him and said he'd been drinking a lot, so he didn't save too much face there. But then the adult comedy show came around. They're the like final comedy show with both comedians, and it featured the one adult guy we'd seen who I didn't think was super funny. He went first on that. He was if I can get my full sentence out before starting the next one. He went first on that dual header thing, and he was worse the second time than the first. I might have chuckled, sneered a tiny little bit once. Like, his second set was not good. It was bad. You could definitely tell. There's some people. There's just some people laugh at everything, but you could definitely tell he was not getting the same kind of reception. The second guy was the one who did the whole bring the kids up on stage thing, but he did an adult show this time. And his set was it started off a little weak. I think the first like 5 minutes where it was like, oh god, this is gonna be another bad attempt at an adult comedy show. But no, it actually has turned around there for the last good bit of it, and it was pretty dang funny. So that was another thing we did on the cruise itself. And then I thought the funniest and most enjoyable thing that we had, like, performance show, which it wasn't really a performance. It was a show, but it wasn't really a performance. Well, I guess also they had like Family Feud on the boat, which was pretty fun to watch. That was pretty fun and entertaining, because hey, it's Family Feud. It's a good time. No matter what format you're on a cruise ship with a random guy hosting it, or where you're watching it with Steve Harvey, like, Family Feud's just kind of funny to watch. But the funniest thing that we went and saw, I thought, was this love and marriage thing where they pulled random couples. They had to be married, so Emily and I did not qualify because we're not married yet. But they pulled random married couples with like varying levels of marriage. So like one of the couples was on their honeymoon for the cruise. That's why they got chosen. Another couple was the longest married one in the audience, and they'd been married for like 62 years or something like that, which is crazy. 62 years. And then the last one, they just happened to be someone they were married for, I think it was like 14 years or something like that. They just happened to be kind of middle of the road for marriage. But there wasn't really a requirement to be middle of the road for the last couple. It just had to be someone in between newlywed and 62 years. Did you watch the new Dragonite short? I have not watched it yet. The mail delivery Dragonite thing. I have not watched that yet. I haven't gotten around to it. Haven't watched very much the last week and a half, 2 weeks. being out of the country and having no internet connection. Oh goodness, I really started moving over there. But yeah, that was just really funny because it's I mean, you're putting like these married couples into an awkward position of being on stage in front of a giant crowd of people, and then they have to answer some funny and embarrassing questions about themselves and their marriage and all that. The freaking old people were hilarious. It was like, at first I'm not sure if they were trying to be funny, but then it turned into them being really funny. But and you know, most of the humor was about the fact that they are very old. I think one of the funniest things that was said was like, one of the questions was if you could describe, you know, asking the men, you know, if you described your mother-in-law as an animal, what would it be? And like the guy had to put it down and the wife had to guess how he would describe her mother, kind of thing. So he asked that, the host asked that, how would you describe your mother-in-law with an animal? Starts walking around and he gets over to the old guy and he's like, Larry, what you got? Larry goes, I'm not sure, she's been dead for so long. It's just the way he delivered it is like, it was just so funny. Whole theater was cracking up. The comedian, the host was like, you know, cracking up too, because it was just funny delivery. And then later on, they asked the question like, if you could take on a second wife, but it had to be one of your wife's friends, who would it be? And got over to the old guy, and it was like, well, the host went to ask like, you got any ideas, Larry? And Larry goes, well, I had one, but I remember she's dead. So it is kind of morbid humor, but it was funny nonetheless. And like one of the questions was, what's the name of the woman your husband dated last dated before you? And he asked the question, he looked over at the older lady from the couple, and she immediately started writing an answer down. And the host was like, 62 years later, and she still immediately remembers who the last lady was that dated her husband before her. It was kind of, you know, just funny stuff with the old people. So that was a funny little time, which even if Emily and I had been married, I would have been like, oh, hell no, I am not doing that. I get terrible state. I do this in front of people, but it's not really in front of people because I'm alone in my room and, you know, everyone else is away. I don't have to see your faces. You know, I can just read comments and stuff. It's different. But like being on an actual stage, like in front of people, oh, no. That is not for me. I am too shy of a person IRL to do that. That is just too much for me. And it's a good thing Emily had joked about trying to get her, you know, mom and stepdad up onto the stage for it, but probably a good thing they didn't go up there, because some of the questions are rather personal and maybe not something you want to know about, you know, your parents. Yeah. No, these contacts are not working out. I think I'm actually going to go take these out. They're really bothering me. Okay, that is much better. That is much better. Oh my goodness, my eyes were killing me. Oh, they were dying. That's just so weird and sad. That, I don't know why my contacts do that to me, but now I'm like, now wearing my glasses after wearing my contacts, I'm like disoriented because they give you like different fields of vision. I almost feel like it's so weird. I almost feel like my contacts make everything more like stretched out and big. And I put on my glasses and everything feels more like focused in, narrow. It's like it's weird. Kind of gets me a little, like I said, disoriented. It's very weird, very strange. Requiem, what up, what up? Yeah, I have the action replay code. I have the action replay set up and situated. So yeah, the shiny lock has been removed. Hopefully. Hopefully I removed it correctly. I guess if we get too far in this, I will start questioning myself and see if I see if I need to find a new code or something. Accidentally went over there. There we go. Oh, I have too much going on the screen right now because it's like I'm looking at the 3DS capture screen, or 3D, or what am I talking about? DS capture screens, because I need to be able to click down and go to the run button, and all I have on stream is the top screens. But I also have the top screens going, so I occasionally look at them to like guide me, but then it's like I forget I need to look down. Sometimes I'm just like all over the place. Ugh. But I will get focused. Doing good hunting Johto starters right now. Very nice, very nice. You doing it in the classic gold, silver, crystal, or are you doing it in heart gold, soul silver? And which one are you looking for in particular, like most of all? Like which one do you really want the most? Crut, what up, what up? How's it going? Hopefully, I mean, that would be a wild, wild day. Pulling off 2 full-out shinies. Okay, for some reason, my 1DS over here is just really not wanting to register the inputs right now. My Platinum game is not wanting to register inputs at the moment for some reason. But I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Just got back from a cruise. Just got back from a nice little vacation, so I'm getting back acclimated to everything. Soul Silver, single DS, so is the best shiny, but wouldn't mind anything. I feel you there. I feel you there. I've actually, I've done the Soul Silver hunt for all 3 starters now. I got very lucky to get all 3 without ever phasing. I went Chikorita, then Totodile, then Cyndaquil. But I do agree Totodile has the best shiny, but they're all pretty solid. They're all not bad at all. In fact, the first 2 times I did it, I wasn't actually looking for anyone in particular. It was like, okay, looking for any of them, got Chikorita, then I was looking for any of them, got Totodile. And then the last one was like, well, I've gotten the other 2, so I might as well get Cyndaquil. Did not expect to actually get it so easily, but I did. I still stand by, I think that the Heart Gold, Soul Silver shiny starter hunt is like the best. I think it's the best shiny hunt ever. Like, I think it is just the most convenient. It's the quickest. Why am I not getting any unknown encounters? What is going on? Yeah, I think the HDSS starter hunt is like the best starter, or the best is definitely the best starter hunt, if not one of the just best all around shiny hunts out there. I don't know why they did it for that one singular hunt where you could see if they're all shiny from the starter selection, and then they never went back to that. I don't get that. Why do we take that away? I kind of get it for like the later games where it's like a big cutscene and you see the Pokemon in the overworld. I get that. Like in, you know, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, all that. Like, you actually see them out of the Pokeball, so it's like I kind of understand why. Also, I understand why they're shiny locked, because it's like they don't want to program all these cutscenes with like shinies and stuff. I get it, but I still think it should be a thing because it's just really convenient and cool. Plan to play this file and get every soft resettable shiny. Oh, I was sitting there thinking for a second. I was like, every soft resettable shiny, that's like every Pokemon in the game, right? But you mean like, you know, starters, the EV, the gift EV, the legendaries, stuff like that. I got you. Well, that's a pretty cool goal. That's a pretty cool goal. Probably gonna take a minute, so hopefully how far are you, how deep are you? Oh, if you're doing the hunt, I cannot English, oh my lord. If you are doing the starters right now, I imagine you're pretty early on into this journey, so best of luck to you on that. That is it'll be a fun one though. I've got to figure out which Pokemon I want to shiny hunt in Heart Gold, Soul Silver for my whole Shiny Living Dex, because at first I was thinking I would shiny hunt Pokemon only in their like home regions and things like Mewtwo and Kanto, stuff like that. But after thinking about it more, if I can shiny hunt for a legend in HCSS and not in one of the older games, I think I might do that. Just one, to save me time from like having to play through all the games. Because like just to shiny hunt for like Ho-Oh and Lugia, I need to play through Heart Gold and Soul Silver a number of times, so I have more copies to like soft reset on. But it's like if I play through HCSS a bunch of times just for Ho-Oh and Lugia, I might as well take advantage of that save file and also soft reset for Mewtwo and Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, you know, the birds, all that, instead of doing everything in their home region. Just like a time save for myself, so I don't have to play through, you know, a whole number of copies of Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Fire Red, Leaf Green, all that. It's kind of become my thought process on the whole thing. And then any Pokemon that I can shiny hunt in Black 2, White 2 with the shiny charm, I will do that. At least, with some caveats. So like the Reggies, did that register? Okay, that did register. We're good. I'm going to shiny hunt for the Reggies in Black 2, White 2 because you can get the shiny charm to make their shiny odds better, so that just makes more sense. And then, yeah, same with the Lottie twins and the Lake Spirits and all that. Heatran. That way I just have a little bit of something helping me with my odds of getting a shiny. Regigigas. Well, I guess I said Reggies, which includes Regigigas, but try the level 1 in Platinum. Yeah, it would be fun. It probably would be fun. But yeah, since it is in Black 2, White 2, and I can get the shiny charm to help my shiny odds, I'll probably just do it in Black 2, White 2. But I can always change my mind and do other hunts instead. Because that would be kind of cool and fun, doing the level 1 Reggie in Platinum. Because I've already got 2 copies of Platinum already played through. I have an English copy, and I guess my Japanese copy isn't all the way played through Platinum. I'm at the point where I'm encountering Giratina. But my English copy of Platinum I played all the way through. I'm done with that. Just now using it for hunting. Don't need to do any more story or anything. But yeah, so much is up in the air for the Shiny Living Dex. I have like some plans, but a lot of stuff is just like, I might change it on a whim. We'll see. Like I'm using the cute charm glitch to help me get a whole bunch of shinies, because realistically shiny hunting for all 649 Pokemon is not feasible. Like I'll probably be 90 years old before I would finish if I did everything full odds. So utilizing the cute charm glitch to help out with a lot of Pokemon is the thing I'm going to do. But there's certain Pokemon that I just don't want to use it on, like Spiritomb. You can use the cute charm glitch on Spiritomb because it can be either gender. But it's like Spiritomb is such a cool shiny, and it's like such a unique Pokemon and how you encounter it. I kind of want to, you know, full odds hunt for it, even though I could technically get it in like 5 minutes if I just use Q-Charm glitch. But you know, there's just certain Pokemon that's like, okay, well, it's not very fun to use Q-Charm on it, so like I won't. Like Eevee and its evolutions, I'm actually going to hunt for all of the Eevee evolutions instead of using Q-Charm to just give me 8 Eevees really quickly. And I've kind of thought about doing it for Pikachu, which I've technically used the Q-Charm glitch to get a shiny Pikachu, but I immediately evolved it into a Raichu, and I've also used it to get a Pichu. So I have Pichu and Raichu already, but I've been thinking about doing like maybe a Fire Red Leaf Green Viridian Forest hunt for regular just the regular Pikachu for the Living Dex. I think that could be pretty cool. And then other Pokemon like Heatran. Heatran's also a Pokemon I could cute charm glitch hunt for because it's actually a legendary that has a gender. But I think doing that on legendaries is definitely, which is the only legendary I could actually utilize it on. So it doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme of things. But I still think it would be cool to just full odds hunt for Heatran instead of utilizing cute charm glitch. And thankfully it's in black 2, white 2. So I can hunt it with the shiny charm and increase my odds just a little bitty bit. I feel like I go on that rant every so often. I think I'm trying to hype myself up or like reaffirm to myself, like, yeah, this is a good idea. You know, this is cool. This is understandable. Because really at the end of the day, I feel like I do this a lot. I feel like at the end of the day, I should just do what is easiest and best for like myself. And I won't get all philosophical there on that. We'll just enjoy the hunting we got so far right now. See if we can get us to shiny. I will not get too deep into the philosophies of doing things how you want versus how others expect it to be done. Will not be doing that. I think I clicked through our good old encounters here real quick, so let me do that. Gotta go down. I really do need to figure out my next hunt, though. One thing about being someone who's not great at planning, planning stuff out is not my strongest suit. I'm kind of a very do things as they come kind of person. But I should be planning stuff out because there's a lot of Pokemon I need to hunt, and not all of them I have set up to actually hunt. So once I get Victini, I really need to figure that out. I guess not really. Actually, no, I think I'm good. I think I'm good, actually. Because I have Eevee already going. I have the Fire Red Leaf Green Eevee hunt going. kind of dropped it a little bit. I only did it once a while back, but I do technically have that going, so I can pick that back up if need to after Victini. And then I also have, I guess I could always pick back up the Dragonite hunt, maybe. I still need to work some stuff out on that to make that a little bit better, but I did do the Dragonite hunt for my birthday about a month and a half ago, so that's all. That is one that has been started that I could pick back up if needed. Have you done the Swords of Justice? Not yet. I don't have that one set up yet. There's any hunt that I can do in Black 2 White 2 with the Shiny Charm to make my odds better, I'm going to do it. So like the Swords of Justice, I have them available to me in Black 2. I need to play through more copies of the game so I have more, games to reset on, but I don't have the Shiny Charm yet on anything, so any hunt like that I'm saving until I have the Shiny Charm actually activated or obtained, which is going to require me to complete the National Dex. So it's going to take me some time to get that Shiny Charm. I've been a little bit lax on. Well, I wouldn't say I've been lax. I've been kind of working on it. I've basically completed the Unova Dex on my copy of Black 2. I played through the entire game, got every Pokemon I can conceivably get in Black 2. Other than, I still need to get the Beartic line and the Vanillix line, because I haven't played the game while it's been winter yet, and they're like only available during the winter. So I have to, I got to get those, but then all I have left is to get the version exclusives of like Duosion and... why was Duosion the one I went with there? Reuniclus or... the Reuniclus line and Braviary. So I've got like 4 lines of Pokemon I still need to get from Unova. Then once I get all those in my Black 2 copy, I'll have all those, and then I just got to work on every Pokemon from Kanto through Sinnoh. And then I can get the Shiny Charm. So just a lot of work to be done. Just a lot of work to be done. But I'm planning to get two birds with one stone with the whole cute charm glitch thing, because I'm going to catch basically every conceivable Pokemon in Platinum that I can with the cute charm glitch to one, fill out my Shiny Living Dex, but then transfer it all up into my Black 2 copy to then also fill out the National Dex so that I can work towards, getting the Shiny Charm. So I'm hoping that Platinum and, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Diamond, Pearl, that games that you can utilize the cute charm glitch in, I'm hoping that they'll eliminate like half of the total Pokemon I need to get for the National Dex. They'll give me a good like 300 something Pokemon, I'm hoping, as shinies. I haven't done out the math yet. I've been telling myself for about 9 months now that I'm going to figure out every single Pokemon that I can cute charm glitch hunt for, just so I know how many Pokemon it'll eat up in the Dex. But I've been so bad about working on my spreadsheet. I go through little spurts where I'm like, heck yeah, I'm going to work on this spreadsheet a bunch. And I work on it for like a week. Not even a week. It's like 2 days. I work on it for 2 days and then I don't touch it for like 2 months. So, me and planning, we have a love-hate relationship. But I will get there eventually. I might, it might take me years and years and years, but I will get there someday. Just gotta believe, just gotta have hope. But I guess I can go over at least some of the shinies I do have. I can't go over all of them because I don't remember all 71 of them. Most of them were obtained with the cute charm glitch, so I've only gotten 5 full odd shinies so far in all my hunts. I've gotten the first one I got was Totodile. Well, technically, so like I got the shiny Chikorita soft resetting in Soul Silver like years ago. And I thought about, just redoing the hunt to get a Chikorita again. But it's like, why would I waste the time? I already have a shiny Chikorita. So that was, I guess, technically the first full odd shiny Pokemon I got for this. But that was like years ago when I wasn't even planning on doing this. I just did that hunt for fun and just happened to get a Chikorita. So I have that shiny Chikorita from Soul Silver. And then the first one I found while streaming back in November of last year was Totodile in Soul Silver. Took about 1,400 resets, I want to say. So not too bad. It was just a little bit under odds in total number of Pokemon I saw from all the resets. So it wasn't too bad. Only took like maybe 4-5 streams. It wasn't too bad or anything. I don't know how many times I can say it wasn't too bad to drive the point home, but after Totodile was good old Squirtle. Squirtle was crazy because it took 2 streams, one short stream and then one longer stream. I started hunting for Tepig way back in July of last year. Tepig ended up taking me forever, but I decided to start up Squirtle just as kind of like a little side thing to do whenever I didn't feel like hunting for Tepig because Tepig was annoying me. Well, the Squirtle thing didn't last very long because soft resetting in Fire Red Leaf Green, I ended up finding it in a good 400 resets, or actually encounters. It was like 200 total resets because I had 2 games going. So like 400 encounters, I got Squirtle. And then the very next week, like exactly 1 week later, I decided to make Cyndaquil and Soul Silver the hunt to do in the meantime for Tepig. And I was expecting, like, I've already gotten Chikorita, I've already gotten Totodile. In order for me to specifically get Cyndaquil, this is going to take forever. Because, like, I'm probably going to duplicate either Chikorita or Totodile multiple times or something. Like, this is going to be a little bit of a long thing. I'll get Tepig eventually, and then the hunt for Cyndaquil will be, like, the main hunt on the channel after Tepig. 200 resets, I would say, so like 600 total Pokemon. I get shiny Cyndaquil in like an hour and a half of hunting. Took no time at all. One stream, no, not even a full stream, because after I got the Cyndaquil, I went back to looking for Tepig. Yeah, that was by far the fastest full odds hunt I've ever done. So yeah, in the span of a week, I got 2 full odds shiny starters in like less than or like right around 1,000 total encounters for both hunts. So that was pretty crazy. But then I wouldn't find another shiny for like 3 months. So the luck kind of balanced out. Because then Tepig took a total of 17,400 something encounters. So that one took a while. Took a total of almost 8 months to get little Tepig in Black 2. Actually, I started off in Black 2, White 2, but I ended up finding it in Black and White. Because I guess even though Black 2, White 2 are my favorite games, I'm cursed to, I was cursed to find Tepig in Black and White. But I eventually did find it. It just took some time, but we got there one day. And then about a month later, I got Shiny Dialga. That was the next full odd shiny that I got in Diamond, or it was Japanese. It's still Diamond. It was a Japanese copy of Diamond. I was doing a hunt where I was looking for all 4 of the gods at the same time. So I was looking for Arceus, Giratina, Dialga, and Palkia in the same hunt, seeing which one would be shiny first. And it just happened to be Dialga, which I called, which was kind of crazy. Like 5 minutes into the very first stream I did for that, I was like, I think it's going to be Dialga that's going to be shiny first, because Dialga's my boy. I had Diamond first off. That was my first Sinnoh game. And lo and behold, like 7,900 encounters, I think it was. Like, it was right under odds. I got shiny Dialga. And that was the last full odd shiny I have gotten. I'm trying to think, is there any other shinies up here that weren't Cute Charm Glitch? I mean, I got the Lake of Rage Gyarados, so that wasn't a Cute Charm Glitch, but it wasn't a hunt either. I just got the free shiny there. Is there any other shiny that I've gotten? No, it was just the 5 that I found during streaming, and then the Chikorita, and then Gyarados from Lake of Rage. So that's what, 7 total Pokemon. The other 64, all Cute Charm and Platinum. which I guess technically in a way that number actually is higher because there's some Pokemon that I've caught duplicates of for the shiny, but I haven't evolved them yet. So like I have 2 Sneasels, so technically I'm at like 72 because like I can evolve one of them into Weavile. I just haven't done it yet. So same with like, you know, I have 2 Luxios right now and a Shinx. So one of them needs to become a Luxray and increase that total, you know, stuff like that. Are you planning to hunt Jirachi? Do you have the bonus district channel? So yeah, I'm planning to shiny hunt everything that I can. But no, I haven't. Jirachi and Manaphy are 2 hunts that I'm kind of saving for later when I'm just like, okay, I have to finally stop putting this off. I have to do these hunts now. So I have no preparation done for Jirachi or Manaphy. I'm going to do them eventually, but as of the moment, I have not done any of the planning for that. So no bonus disc, no channel for Jirachi, and yeah, no copy of Rangers acquired, no Manaphy eggs situated anywhere. Like I said, that'll probably be something I handle in like 2 or 3 years. Once I've exhausted all my other options, it's like, okay, I gotta get serious here about these harder hunts. Or these more intricate hunts, I should say. That did count. We're good there. Although I probably should be planning those out because, you know, the price of Pokemon stuff, cards, games, all that just continues to go higher and higher every year. So I probably should just be grabbing up those copies of things right now so that I save some money in the long run, because who knows, in 2-3 years they might be doubled in price and I'm gonna be like, oh god, why didn't I just buy these back in 2025? But me making poor financial decisions, that's just commonplace. That's nothing new. So not too worried. Not too worried right now. I'll worry about it when I get there. That's been my motto for a decade now. That sounds like something future Andrew can worry about. Current Andrew, he has no worries about that. Accidentally. Oh no, it actually got that. Wow. Actually caught that. That's surprising. Something I have been saying that I'm going to do though for a while now, so it should be something I get on top of. I've been saying that I'm going to shiny hunt for Entei and Raikou in Pokemon Colosseum because I don't want to deal with them as roamers. They're like the only roaming Pokemon that like you have to deal with in the mainline games, because roamers like Suicune is not a roamer in Heart Gold Soul Silver, so you don't have to deal with it. And then like the Lake Trio, you don't have to deal with, or you don't have to deal with Mesprit as a roamer, or Cresselia, because they are in Black 2 White 2 static Pokemon, so you can just get them there. Same with like the Lotties in Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, you can get them in Black 2 White 2. So the only roamers that you like have to worry about are Raikou and Entei, because there's just no static encounters for them in the mainline games, but there are static encounters for them in Colosseum. And I just think it would be cool to do a shiny hunt in Colosseum because that's just pretty neat. But Colosseum is an expensive game, and hunting for those Pokemon in Colosseum, It might not, it honestly might not be any much of a time save compared to hunting them as roamers. Maybe a little bit less of a headache, potentially. But, and it is a hunt I want to do eventually, just because I think it would be cool. Even if it's maybe not the most time-efficient hunt, but I just think it would be pretty sweet to do. Yeah, oh no, it actually caught that. Wow. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think it would be really fun. Catching the shadow Pokemon, then checking the party to see if they're shiny. I think it'd be fun. I kind of would like to also do Suicune in that game because Suicune has like kind of a different shiny in Colosseum compared to normal. I don't know about the other two. I don't know how their shinies are in Colosseum compared to normal. But I do know Suicune is a little bit different because normally Suicune's mane is like a light blue for the shiny. Well, in Colosseum, it is black. It has a black mane, which is really freaking cool. And Suicune's one of my favorite Pokemon out there, so it would be sweet. Also, it would just kind of like, it would make sense to do all three of the legendary beasts in the same kind of hunt in like Colosseum. But given hunting Suicune and Heart Gold Soul Silver would probably just be quicker and easier, it's just kind of like one of those things where like, I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We shall see, we shall see. No. I've considered trying to do this challenge, or I don't know if I call it a challenge, but like just a little fun hunting thing where like I shiny hunt for Eevee and its evolutions and like different methods all throughout the games. So like I've been looking for Eevee in Fire Red Leaf Green. That one would just be an Eevee, but then like Eevee's available across so many games in so many ways. You could do like a whole number of hunts to get Eevee in a unique way. And like one of them would be like XD Gale of Darkness. I believe you can shiny hunt the starter Eevee in XD Gale of Darkness. So like hunting for Eevee there would be really cool. You get a gift Eevee in the post game of Black 2 White 2 that has its hidden ability that could be fun to hunt. You know, you can radar hunt for Eevee in the Trophy Garden in Platinum. You can soft reset for the gift Eevee from Bill and Heart Gold Soul Silver. Like there's a whole slew of ways to try and get shiny Eevee in kind of different capacities. And I thought it would be fun to like, you know, touch on all those different ways to get every Eevee evolution other than Sylveon, because I'm only doing this up to Black 2 White 2. So Sylveon does not exist for what I am trying to do. But it would be cool nonetheless. It would take forever. It would take so long, but it would be really cool. It would be really cool to be like, I shiny hunted every evolution across 9 different games, something like that, you know. But it's like, or I could try and save myself some time and just like radar hunt for Eevee in the Trophy Garden and Platinum and just try and chain a bunch of shinies, you know. that would probably be just easier. Get the one shiny Eevee from Fire Red Leaf Green from soft resetting, and then get all the Eevee evolutions from radar chain in Platinum. That'd probably be easier and more time efficient, but would it be as cool? I don't know. Probably not. But I've got to weigh cool versus responsibility of my time. Wow, that was close. I think that's the first time I have ever... I was about to swallow the water down the wrong pipe. I caught it in my throat and it was like, nope, that's going to be wrong. I pushed it up, and that was the first time I've ever done that. I like saved myself from choking on water right there. A little weird, but yeah. My favorite Eevee evolution is Espeon. I'm an Espeon. Espeon's actually my third favorite Pokemon. He goes Dragonite, Weavile, and then Espeon. And then my second favorite one is Flareon. I know that's like the least. Flareon is one of the least popular EV evolutions. I really like Flareon. I think Flareon's cool. I think it's because I'm really biased towards Flareon's Gen 2 sprite, like in Pokemon Crystal. I think it looks really cool. I like the colors. They really pop. Red's my favorite color as well, so like Flareon just kind of fits for red for me. Oh, excuse me. But there's I like all the EV evolutions in some capacity. And then after Flareon, I would probably say my next favorite EV evolution is after Flareon, Espeon, Flareon, maybe a good old, the rest of them are all closer together, but I would probably give the edge to Leafeon for third, then Sylveon, then Jolteon. No. Sylveon, then Umbreon, then Jolteon. I don't dislike Glaceon by any means. I actually do like Glaceon, but I just like all the other ones a little bit more. But I like Glaceon more than Vaporeon. I'll say that. Vaporeon's probably my least favorite EV evolution. But I don't dislike Vaporeon. Like I really don't dislike many Pokemon. It's just in like in order of preference, Vaporeon would be the lowest. Honestly, Glaceon and Jolteon might be interchangeable. I could put them at like flip-flopping between the two. But then I would probably say, yeah, Umbreon, then Sylveon, then Leafeon, Flareon, Espeon. Since Espeon is one of my favorite Pokemon out there, I've considered collecting all the Pokemon cards for Espeon. I've collected every English Dragonite Pokemon card out there. So that's my favorite Pokemon. Dragonite is my number one. If not obvious by the Dragonite. Big old plushie behind me in the like Shrine of Dragonite stuff. Dragonite is my favorite Pokemon. So I have every English Dragonite Pokemon card. Weavile is my second favorite Pokemon, so I probably should work on Weavile next and get every Weavile card, but honestly, Weavile has Weavile's not a newer Pokemon. I mean, Gen 4 is pretty old at this point, but like, in terms of Dragonite and Espeon, it is obviously newer, so it has less cards. But also, Weavile doesn't get the same love in the TCG that Dragonite and Espeon get, so Weavile just has a lot fewer cards and also no, like, really expensive cards. So honestly, like, if I just sat down for like a month or two and only bought Weavile cards, really, I'd probably just a month. Like I could probably buy every Weavile card and have all those pretty quickly. Because, yeah, there's just no big Weavile card out there. They've never released, Weavile SIR or, some crazy cool Weavile card. Like, I think the biggest card, like, in terms of rarity Weavile has ever gotten was a rainbow in the Sun and Moon era, I want to say. I think it was a Weavile GX. But it never came out in English. It was only in Japanese, I think. Other than that, Weavile's only ever gotten like full arts and, hollows and stuff like that. Never really any big expensive cards. No real big promos either. So yeah, I could probably pick up Weavile pretty quickly. Espeon though, Espeon would take a while and cost a lot of freaking money. Like Dragonite took me years and a solid chunk of change to get all of Dragonite's cards, because Dragonite has some expensive ones, but Espeon would put Dragonite to shame. Especially, like, shoot, just the Espeon Gold Star in itself would probably cost me nearly as much as I spent on all my Dragonite cards. Like, Espeon Gold Star is pricey. That is one expensive card. And then shoot, outside of Espeon Gold Star, there's still a whole slew of other Espeon cards that are a solid chunk of change. Shoot, in just modern times, you know, in the last like 6 months, they've come out with an Espeon card, so, you know, a few $100s. Your top 3 Pokemon are Jirachi, Cacturne, Toxicroak. Oh, that's I like that. I like that. That is a very unique top 3 Pokemon. I like that. That's really cool. Specifically Cacturne and Toxicroak. I love Jirachi too. Don't get me wrong, like, I love Jirachi. Jirachi's also one of my top 10 favorite Pokemon. But I like throwing Cacturne and Toxicroak in there. That's a cool little trio of Pokemon right there. EV evolutions: Umbreon, Glaceon, Sylveon, Leafeon, Vaporeon, Espeon, Flareon, Jolteon. I gotcha. Yeah, I think Pokemon like Cacturne and Toxicroak are underrated. Those are cool Pokemon. Hold on 1 second. We're talking about Jirachi real quick. I'll go grab this and show it here, since they're talking about one of my faves. I'd say Jirachi's probably a solid like 7th or 8th on my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Like, it's up there in the top 10. It's not like top 5, but I do really like Jirachi. Why am I out of breath? I just I need to get back in shape. I should not be out of breath after doing that little bit of stuff. Okay, so here we are. Good right here. I have this nice little, if the camera will focus and I can get the glare off of it from the from my monitor. Shiny Jirachi. It's Japanese card. Shining Jirachi from Shining Legends in a good old pristine CGC 10. Nice little cute Jirachi card right there. Nice shiny as well. Picked this up a while back. Just Japanese cards look so good. If anyone out there collects Pokemon cards and you're mainly collecting English, because obviously English is the most accessible. If you're in an English speaking country like the US, like I am, you can get them at, you know, card store, open up packs and all that. I highly recommend getting Japanese cards. If there's no Pokemon cards in your local area, you can't buy any packs to open, you know, you want some cards, I highly recommend going on eBay or somewhere and, you know, look up your favorite Pokemon, find a cool Japanese card for that Pokemon. There's a lot of Pokemon cards that came out in Japan that never came out in the States, or outside of Japan, I should say. So even if you're not in the US, you can probably find something from Japan that's unique that you've never seen before, unless you're in Japan. Anyways, go find Japanese Pokemon cards. They look so good. The texturing is so nice. Like, they're always really good quality. Like, Japanese cards are where it's at. I mainly collect Japanese. I don't know why I'm shilling for Japan right now and their Pokemon cards, but you know, I have a whole stack of Pokemon cards right here on my desk. Like this Japanese Holo Ampharos from forever ago. This is like a 20-year-old card right here. This card looks great in English, don't get me wrong, but like this era of Pokemon cards in general, English and Japanese are just known for like their quality and how good they look. But like in Japanese also, specifically, like the card just looks so cool. Like, this is such a sick Ampharos card. Even Mecargo looks great in a nice solid Japanese card. You know, nice EX from forever ago. If the camera wants to focus on making Mecargo. Come on now. Why are we not focusing here? Does it? Okay, it didn't recognize it. Like, even that Mecargo's freaking sick. There you go. Yeah, e-reader cards. Grabbed the wrong one. I love e-reader cards. If it has, you know, the big border on the side and the bottom, or even in the era after this where it's just on the bottom, like, those are still sick as well. I don't know, do I have any of those? Like, there's some EXs like this that have a really thick bottom down here. Yeah, that is, yeah, it's in both English and Japanese. There's some EXs that have like thick borders on the bottom. They're like hollow and they look so good. I don't think I have any sitting right here next to me. I have some other places. Do I have any right here? No, those are the only vintage ones. I have sitting next to me. But like Japanese cards just make every card look cool. Like even this card, like, okay, so Virizion is not the most popular Pokemon out there. You know, of all the legendaries that are out there, most people probably would dislike Virizion the most. They would say, oh, Virizion's probably my least favorite legendary out there. Japanese Pokemon cards make Virizion look freaking sick. Like you can't really see the texturing through the camera, like I can here, but like there's like this swirl of texturing around it and like the hollow, the way it like refracts in the light. So cool. Looks so good. Going on a little card tangent here. Like even the ones compared to their English counterparts, like they just look so much better in Japanese. Like this Blood Moon Ursaluna from the recent set, like again, you really can't get a great grasp of the texturing through the camera, but man, it looks so good in person. No, he is not. Can't find him? Oh. Oh yeah, he's probably on the couch. Or he could be hiding. He likes to hide. Could be under the ottoman. All right, 1 second. All right, I have returned. Went to tell, oh, and I think I stepped away right as Love over here jumped in over on Twitch. So sorry, Love. I don't know if you're still around, but I appreciate the follow. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Thank you for jumping on in here to the stream. Yeah, I might have dipped out right as you came on in. Had to go tell Emily goodnight, then took the dogs outside, go to the bathroom real quick. But I am back. I'm back. What was I talking about? What was I doing? We were talking about Pokemon cards, right? I was hunting, but we're talking about Pokemon cards. Requiem, just okay. Just going back. You got Shiny Chikorita. Wow, congrats. That's awesome. Shiny Chikorita. Very nice. Do you, were you keeping track of encounters or anything, or just going for it and then got it? That's sick. Congrats on that. You like the legend cards from Heart Gold, Soul Silver, especially Crystal. I have that Cresselia Darkrai. I have both of those legend cards. They're back here tucked away in this little you can't really see it, this little basically all of my cards are in this plastic case right here. And then also I have all of these good old binders right here that have cards in it. Basically all my Pokemon cards are like hanging out right here behind me, and I have some other stuff scattered about here there, but the bulk of everything is right here in this cube. So can't get those out right now. Oh, unfortunately, looks like Love is another bot. You know, Twitching their bots and trying to, yeah, it's something. That is something for sure. It's been a lot more prevalent recently, it seems like. Well, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Yeah, we're talking about Pokemon cards. I guess I can go back to good old, I can go back to streaming or shiny hunting real quick. Go do that. All right. Let's get back to this. But yeah, Pokemon cards. I'm a sucker for the good old cards, specifically Japanese cards. I love me some good old Japanese Pokemon cards. I think I skipped over that way too quick. I did. So I'm gonna add 2 there. I think the texturing on Japanese cards just looks incredible. And then DS was in the wrong date, Chikoritas. I've been there. I think all the 4 DSs I have capture cards in for all this. I think I have them all set to the correct date now. For a while I didn't though, so some of my shinies might actually say they're from a different like time or date or whatever. Don't remember. I have like 12, 13 different DSs of different varieties. I don't think they're all correctly set to the same time and date, but I guess for me personally, it doesn't, it's fine. It's fine. No big deal. But that is kind of funny. What'd you end up naming that good old shiny Chikorita there? Mine was actually a female. I got female shiny Chikorita when I got it way back in the day. So I named it after my fiance. I named it Emmy. Her nickname. Trend card says started in 2025 though, because I started. Yeah, all over the place. I feel that. I actually messed up the whatchamacallit. I messed up trying to get honey tree encounters in platinum because I didn't like think about the whole like I set up the honey on one DS and then I moved my game over to another. Like I set up the honey trees on like a DS like this, but then I moved it over to my DS that has a capture card in it. I didn't realize by doing that it like completely messes up the timing on the honey trees, so they didn't actually work when I was trying to get them. So that was kind of a funny experience right there. Good to know. Illusion Battalion Studio, what up? How's it going? Thanks for dropping on in. From now on, I'll just say Illusion for short from now on, but I read the full thing out there for the first time. But how's it going? Tired but vibing? I feel that to my core. I feel that deep down inside. Always tired, but yeah, I'm vibing. His male scene in a fall generic. I was going to name on him. Hey, I mean, I love going with generic nicknames. I love nothing more than like a Pokemon that just fits a nickname so well. It's like, yeah, it's generic, but it's a good looking. It works. It works. And yeah, with the Chikorita line, they definitely do look like fall leaf colors, so it makes sense. Try and get back comfy real quick. Mic situated. Okay, there we go. Vaccinated Pokemon is there. Good dad joke right there. Good dad joke. Almost went over my head. I was reading it for a second. I was like, fall damage. What are we talking about? I was like, we playing Call of Duty? Nah, I got it there. I got it there. Solid pun. Nothing feels worse than when someone hits you with a really good like pun or dad joke, but it's like it's almost so good that you don't get it at first because it flows so seamlessly, like goes over your head, and then they like explain it and you're like, wow, I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. I gotcha. I like to think I enjoy throwing out a good dad joke here, there, and by here, there, I mean all the time. If I see the opportunity for a bad pun, I take it. I take it. It doesn't matter how cringy it may be. I love a good bad pun. So let's see. I think, well, we'll see. I might take the unknown hunt. Where did I start with the unknown hunt? What number was I on? I actually don't remember. But I might take the unknown hunt here up to 800 total encounters, and then I might drop it off and we just go back to doing only Victini. Because sometimes, for me, trying to bounce between reading chat and doing the different inputs I need to do for the different hunts, sometimes it's like I feel all over the place and like I'm going crazy. So we might get the unknown hunt here today, 800 total encounters, and then we'll just go back to the Victini hunt, and I'll focus solely on trying to get Victini. So I'm not trying to do 12,000 different inputs and then also reading chat and thinking of things to say and yada yada yada. Some people are really good at multitasking and doing stuff like that. Unfortunately, I am not one of them. That doesn't really do dad jokes, but I love them. Nice. It's always good to have a nice little fun little inside joke with the fam. Let's see, where are we at? We're there. Also difficult keeping track of this hunt right here because I have to like be careful with how I press the A button because I'm using the auto counter to just automatically increase the number of encounters per hunt. But sometimes if I click too fast through the Victini hunt, it doesn't register it, and I gotta like keep track of it and then like add the encounters myself. And sometimes when I'm just mashing the A button trying to get through stuff on unknown, I start clicking a little too quickly. Sometimes it is just a little easier to focus solely on Victini. I just do the unknown hunt as a little side thing because eventually I have to get Shiny Unknown, obviously, for the Shiny Living Dex. And Unknown is one of the few Pokemon that has to be... It's basically Shiny Unknown is like the only Shiny I'm going to be trying to find with wild encounters. That could obviously change in the future, but everything else is either going to be like soft resetting, breeding, or something else. I'm not really going to be doing too many, whatchamacallit, wild encounter hunts. Unknown's basically the only one. So great. Wow, I've seen some stuff like that online. That's really impressive. What things do you like to mimic the most? Like, what are your favorite things to do? I saw, I don't remember, it was a TikTok or something. It was about this kid he was like in elementary school, and he was really good at making like bird calls, like bird noises. And they were like talking about it, and I was like, how good can the kid actually be? And then he actually he does a cardinal, and it blew me away. I was like, there's no way a human just made that noise. I was like, that was insane. He's like 8. How did he do that? A squeaky toy. That'd be a fun one to like prank people with. Make them think something's up. Stepped on something. Which we are getting close to 4,000 encounters here on the Victini hunt, so we are very nearly at half. We're basically at half odds. So we are halfway to our 1 in 8,192 mark. Oh, and see, that was one. Well, actually, it counted. I was going to say that was one of those instances where I thought I pressed the button too quickly, but it counted still. Wow, that is a real life Snow White over there. Snow White's the one that sings and like the birds respond, right? I haven't watched a Disney movie and I haven't watched a Disney princess movie in a hot minute. It's been a while since I watched a good old Snow White or Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty or anything like that. Probably the last one I watched was what, like live action Beauty and the Beast. Back when that came out with what, Emma Watson. But that is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Wow. I guess what ended up happening to that hawk? Did it unfortunately go to the great beyond or just migrate somewhere else? Or I guess you maybe wouldn't know, but that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. Did you ever sick it on anyone? A little attack hawk? I'm just picturing in my head. So like, famously, I don't know if anyone knows this, like the noise that they claim like a bald eagle makes, the like, you know, the screeching noise, the noise you hear made with like, you know, America, like if a meme's like America, rah, and it's like they make the like screeching noise. That's not actually what like a bald eagle sounds like. It's like this other kind of hawk. But I'm picturing in my head you're in an argument with someone, like a bully is like, someone's like trying to mess with you or something, and they're like getting rough with you, and you're like trying to fight back, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna summon my hawk, and you like screech at them, and then they're like, what the hell was that? And then you hear it in the background too, and it's like, what the hell was that? And the hawk just comes just flying down. It's like just. I'm picturing that in my head like a superhero movie, like summoning your attack hawk from the trees. But Lonk is cool. What's up? What's up? How's it going? You're doing Gen 5 as well. What you doing? What you doing? But basically, yeah, you're right, Requiem. It is like a Pokemon. You're summoning your attack hawk, summoning your Braviary. Suffering on Oshawott for 2 weeks straight. Well, Lonk, I'll give you some good news. 2 weeks is actually pretty solid because it took me 8 months to get Shiny Tepig. So keep going. It is hopefully you don't suffer in the same way I did. Although you're much faster than I am. 3,552 in 2 weeks. Yeah, no, I was nowhere near at that number in 2 weeks. In total, it took me 17,400 to get Tepig, but you know, I was not pumping out the encounters as quickly. I think I was getting a solid like 1,000 encounters a week maybe, and then like took some time off here there to do some other hunts every now and then. Was it a single hunt? No, it was not. It started off as 2 DSs, so like I have 2 Victinis right here. Started off as 2 copies of one black 2, one white 2. But after about 5-6 months, I went to 4 copies because that's what you're doing. You're at 3,500 encounters on one game in 2 weeks. Have you slept? Have you ate anything? The encounters for Gen 5 starters are really long. Are you soft resetting or are you like breeding for them? Because yeah, the encounters for Gen 5 are really long. Well, that's good to know that the hawk's still around hanging out. Good to know it's still there, thriving. A lot of hawks in my parents' yard growing up. My parents lived in a very wooded area. There were a lot of hawks around. I never befriended any of them. One of them did try and attack me one time. Not really. It just flew down really close to my head. But that's my only experience with a local hawk. But you're doing soft resets. Wow. And that's incredible. I applaud your efficiency and your dedication. I think it took me a solid... Shoot, how long was it when I got to 3,000 encounters? It might have been a solid like 2 months in that I got to like... Shoot, is there any way for me to like... Let me open this real quick. When did I hit the 3,000 mark on the Tepig hunt? I gotta scroll back through a lot of streams here. When did I get to 3K? So I hit 3K there. I guess it probably took me a month and a half to get to like 3,500 with 2 games. Now, granted, I was only soft resetting like 2 to 3 hours a day, like 3 days a week. So I wasn't doing it like constantly. It was really only while I was streaming for a couple hours here or there. So not as efficient and dedicated as I could have been, but Yeah, it took me some time to get there. It took me some time. But slow and steady wins the race, and it was well worth it in the end. It was well worth it. Wow. What are you telling me? This one back to Oh, you've never played Black 2 before? Well, have fun with that. Black 2, White 2 are actually my favorite games. They're my favorite Pokemon games. Love me some Black 2, White 2. I think they are pretty dang good Pokemon games, in my own personal opinion. The reset in Black 2, White 2 is slightly quicker than Black and White for the starters. But I started my hunt in Black 2, White 2 for Tepig. I ended up finding it in Black and White though. So Black 2, White 2 were a little cursed for me when it came to finding Tepig. It eventually came down to Black and White, giving me the shiny. We already got Snivy. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I was optimistic, like, oh, I'll shiny hunt all the Gen 5 starters. That'll be fun. Or I'll soft reset hunt for them at the beginning of the game. But with Tepig taking as long as it did, I was like, nope. No, there's no way. I am Masuda method hunting with the shiny charm to get Snivy and Oshawott. And the other 2 Tepigs that I'm going to need. Considering for the Shiny Living Dex, I need 9 total starters. I'm going to be doing a lot of breeding for the remaining starters that I need, because the soft reset took so freaking long for Tepig. I'm not putting myself through that again. Also, I said I was going to stop Unknown at 800, and I kind of kept going, so whoops. But it is what it is. We are here. We are still going. I guess, how many encounters did it take to get Snivy? How quick, how long did that one take? Oh, excuse me. 6,001. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. If my Tepig hunt had only taken 6,000 encounters, I probably would have soft reset for like Oshawott and Snivy as well. But since Tepig wanted to be a pain in my side, I decided, you know what? We'll skedaddle onto other things. I guess I've never thought too much about vultures. I've never really given them too much thought. All right, Requiem, thanks for dropping on in. I probably won't be going too much longer. It's been 2 hours. I normally stream like 2.5 hours, so we'll see. I might go to like 4,000 encounters on Victini, and that'll be like a night, which will probably be around 2.5 hours maybe. Might take me like 30 more minutes to do that. So if you're back in 30 minutes, I'll see you then. But if not, catch you around next time. I'm laughing at myself because I felt like the way I said that, I'll catch you around next time. Just felt overly overly rehearsed. I don't know. I just felt like I said that funny. Anyways, where was I? I don't know. You ever say something in your head, you're just like, why did I say it like that? What was I doing? What was that about? But okay, we're 4,000 encounters there for Victini, and no shiny so far. Hopefully my shiny lock removal code is hopefully working correctly. Hopefully. Shooting for 3750 today. I gotcha. But yeah, I haven't really been doing any shiny hunting the last week and a half because I was on vacation, which I brought 2 DSs with me. I brought my 2 Nintendo DS, or 2 of my Nintendo DSs, and had my copy of Soul Silver and White 2 with me. I brought them with me to play through them to set up more shiny hunts for this, but then I never did. Because I got on the planes and I was like thinking about playing through them, but then they're pretty short plan. It was like an hour, 15 minutes maybe. I was pretty tired, so I ended up just listening to music and kind of relaxing. So didn't do any of the playing that I would have liked. So haven't touched a Pokemon game in a week and a half. So hopefully today, coming back from vacay, we can pick something up. But yes, cheers. Hopefully we can grab the, let's see, what do we got? We got like 86 more encounters until we hit half odds. Or until we hit the new gen odds. Hopefully we can grab it by then. I have been thinking, unfortunately, you know, I had 3 hunts that were pretty well under odds. Totodile, Squirtle, and Cyndaquil. Those were all very well under odds. Dialga was also barely under odds. So I've had 4 hunts go under odds, and I had Tepig go well over. So unfortunately, I do kind of feel like I'm due for an over odds hunt, since I've had 4 under and 1 over. The 1 over was, well, you know, was over double over. But considering Squirtle and Cyndaquil were so freaking fast, I am kind of worried that Cosmic Justice is going to get me with another really long one like Tepig. So hopefully not. And hopefully it's not Victini, because the longer this hunt goes, the more and more scared I'm going to be that I messed up the shiny lock removal. So I guess, Lonk, are you working on a Shiny Living Dex, or are you just hunting for fun? Just doing some hunts here, there? Man, my arm just got really itchy all of a sudden. Why is my arm all itchy all of a sudden? Wait, I'm trying to remember. What did I say earlier? I was like, I'm at 2 hours. I'll go 30. Did I say I'm going to try and go to 5,000 encounters? Did I say that earlier? Or I guess... No, what am I thinking of? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Did I say I was going to go to 4,000? I don't know. Anyways, I'll go to 4,100. I don't remember what I said earlier, but I might have said something crazy and outlandish. Not going to 5,000 encounters today. That's not happening. Going to we're just gonna go sometime. I don't know. I'm sitting over here like, what did I say earlier? I think I said something crazy and outlandish. Anyways, I'll just go for a little bit. I don't know what I said, but I might have said something off the wall, not true. I'll go until I go, I guess. Well, how about that? Yeah, I don't know about the mechanisms behind unlocking shiny Pokemon and see why I want. Yeah, basically I have an action replay plugged into both DSs with my games, and I found a YouTube video from someone who was doing the shiny hunt with an action replay code to remove the shiny lock, and they, you know, in the video they got the shiny Victini and they were clearly resetting for it because it wasn't just like one encounter, there's the shiny, oh, it obviously worked. It was like you saw them reset, or the runaway method, not resetting. And you know, the shiny did appear, and I went into their description, got the code. Someone in chat also has used the code that they got from me for my description and said that they were able to get shiny Victini with it, so I'm trusting they told me the truth. But there's always the chance that maybe I misinput the code somehow into my DSs, and I need to go back and check that. Because if I typed something in wrong on accident, then the code obviously won't be working. But when I was typing it in, I'm pretty sure I checked over like 4 or 5 times to make sure. So I would hope I didn't somehow mess up and then mischeck it 5 times, but I guess you never know. Ryan, what's up? What's up? Yes, we are here. We are here with our dreaded headache of, have I done this properly? What I just need to be confident in it. I just need to be like, yeah, I did it right. I did it right. We're good. Confidence is key in every aspect of life, so remember that. Always be confident. Do I follow that advice? Way more than I used to, I will say. Definitely have a lot more confidence now than I used to, for sure. Need to get the shiny stars with me. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get there eventually. Like I said, I mean, I could always do Masuda method pretty quickly. I have Black 2 already, you know, wait to the post game so I can breed, and then I'm just about to get to Giant Chasm and my copy of Japanese White 2, so I can get a foreign Ditto. So like I could start Masuda method hunting for Snivy and Oshawott to get the trio. I would like to have the shiny charm to make the odds as good as possible, but you know, Masuda method's already pretty good odds compared to regular, so I'll get there at some point. I'll definitely get there one day. But there's just so many Pokemon I gotta hunt. So many Pokemon. We who knows when I'll get to all of them. But I guess, I mean, in regards to like every starter out there, I haven't decided if I'm going to do any more soft resetting for any starters. For the Gen 5 ones, I've decided I'm not soft resetting. I'm just doing, you know, like breeding for the rest of them. But like, I've got 3 of, you know, the 9 that I need Johto starters from soft resetting Soul Silver. So it's kind of like, I did that there. I got Squirtle from Fire Red Leaf Green. I kind of want to do Mudkip in Ruby and Sapphire, but one, I need to replace the batteries in my copy of Ruby and Sapphire so I can actually soft reset appropriately. But then it's just a full odds hunt, and like it's gonna take so long, and I do kind of want to like speed this up and get more Pokemon. So that is the daily battle I have of how do I really want to do these hunts. So I want to do them efficiently, the quickest possible, or do I want to do them in like the most fun way? I don't know. It changes daily. My opinion changes daily. But do I have a number that I go for daily? Not really. I just kind of go with the vibe, go with the flow, what I'm feeling. Like some days I might do only like 200 to 300 encounters. I think I'm getting to about 700 on today. I think I started at 3,600. No, 500. What am I talking about? Bad math. Yeah, it just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. There's some days where I'll sit down and I'll hunt for like an hour, and I'm like, I'm kind of bored. I want to go do something else. And then there's some days where I can just sit here for like 3+ hours and keep going. So I'm at the mercy of my own impulses. Considering how many shiny Pokemon I need to get for this Living Dex, I probably should be doing as many encounters as possible, as often as possible, but like, I'm trying not to burn myself out with everything, so I'm just going at my, own flow, own pace, and whatever works, works. But yeah, if I wasn't streaming, I would definitely be watching YouTube right now. But obviously, since I'm streaming, I guess I could stream, interact with chat, and watch YouTube at the same time, but that would be too much. I guess on the days where chat is a little less interactive are the days when I get bored a little more quickly, and I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna be here as long. We're just gonna get a few hundred encounters out, and that'll be good on the day. So I guess that to say, if you want to see me complete this Shiny Living Dex faster, let's chat so I don't get so bored. I try to do my best to fill the air with my own words, but sometimes after like an hour and a half of rambling to myself, I've run out of things to say, and I'm like, what do I do now? Which I guess is why most podcasts are like only an hour and a half, 2 hours. I've sat down and watched podcasts, and I've been like, why are these longer? Like these feel like they could be longer. They could have more going on. But then I guess I do sit down and try and talk for like an hour and a half straight sometimes. And I'm like, wow, it is hard to fill this much space with my own hot air. But you nerfed yourself because you set a daily number. I mean, that's fair. And it's probably a good idea too. You don't want to go so hard that you get burned out and stop enjoying it. But that's kind of why I've been, yes, some people, I certainly do know some people who can just talk and talk and talk and just never get tired of talking. I certainly do know some people. That's why I've been enjoying Kaizo Ironmon a lot lately, because it allows me to ramble and talk about the game and like what's going on, so I don't necessarily have to like create my own talking points. I can just feed off of what's happening in the game, which obviously is the appeal to streaming yourself playing like games, obviously. That's why people stream themselves playing all manner of games, because you can, it's easier to fill the air when you got something more going on. It's like, I think I've seen Johnstone, which I've kind of said it to myself, but like shiny hunting streams are just chatting streams. It's just sitting down chatting. sometimes that requires actually having something to chat about. And there are just some days where it's just like, there's nothing going on. I'm just like, what do I talk about? Nothing going on personally in my life. No like eventful news or anything. Sometimes, some days it's like, what do I say? Chuck, what's up? What's up? Imagine who's Freddy? Freddy's? Also nerf myself with vision weakening because I also nerf myself with my vision weakening because I like wait, are you saying that you're you're messing up your eyesight to shiny hunt? That might not be a good idea if that's what you mean. Or is you're just like vision getting worse because you're getting older or something? I certainly feel like my vision is getting worse as I'm getting older. Oh, the guy who was in stream. I forgot about Freddy. Yeah, I muted Freddy and we haven't heard from him in a second. He probably unsubbed at this point. I forgot about Freddy. Yeah, that kid was on something. Good night. I don't know what was up with him. But I feel like nobody uses period, like punctuation. I do in like professional stuff, like sending work emails. I use, period punctuations. But if I'm just typing like a casual message to my friends or family, any of that, I don't use punctuation. Well, I don't use periods really. Obviously, a question needs a question mark, and then if you're typing out something excited, then you need a exclamation point. But why is the Victini level 15 specifically? That's a great question. I imagine it's because you can access it like fairly early in the game. So like whenever this event came out, technically you can access it before the 3rd gym. So I guess they didn't want to give you a, level 60 Pokemon before the 3rd gym. So I would imagine that's the reason. Give you a relatively modest Pokemon, at the point in the game you're allowed to go here. At least I think. I can't... Yeah, I think you just have to have gotten to Castelia City. I don't think there's any other requirements, if I remember correctly. So that would probably be why. Full stops in the interchange. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. When chatting online, periods, you throw in, it does throw in that touch of formality. That is true. That is true. Mega Lucario and X and Y. Yeah, well, X and Y, X and Y was a response to Black and White and Black 2 White 2. Unfortunately, the best games in the series did not do well in the sales department. Black and White, Black 2 White 2 did not sell very well, so they had to change things up with X and Y. Threw everything out the door and just said, okay, full on Gen 1 nostalgia and give every cool Pokemon available right now so they have no reason not to play these games. They said, oh, you don't like the fact that Unova has no Gen 1 Pokemon? Well, here's X and Y, where everything's actually about Gen 1, and it's just blanketed as a new generation. Or it's marketed as a new generation, not blanketed. That makes sense, because the other events will be high-level Pokemon. Yeah, I don't honestly know. I don't know why it's level 15. I was just guessing. I guess how do other events work? Do other events, it's been so long since I've done an event in, you know, black and white era. Are they set levels or do they base them off of like where you are in the... Yeah, I don't really know. Who knows why it's level 15? I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I guess other events also are, you know, not necessarily at that level, so maybe there's some rhyme or reason, but I'm not aware. There's no Mega Doug Trio. Unfortunately for Pokemon like Doug Trio, it's hard to figure out how to change that design. Like, how do you change Doug Trio? What do you do there? I mean, sure, yeah, you add more Digletts, but like, does that actually look good? Like, at a certain point, too many Digletts is just kind of a meme. Add hair. Fair enough. Fair enough. I forgot about Alolan Doug Trio. But that's my point, though. That's my point. Changing Doug Trio is really hard. So much so that you have to give it stupid hair that makes it a steel type somehow. Because there's what else do you do with Doug Trio? It's already a stretch going from just one Diglett to 3 and calling it a new Pokemon. You start adding in even more Digletts, it just starts looking like a meme. And so because of that, we get Fabio Doug Trio. Which I guess, to be fair, giving hair to Pokemon is sometimes just their idea. Because look at Mega Ampharos. There's a lot of ways you could probably make Mega Ampharos look cooler. Like, change Ampharos' design for a Mega. But they just gave it hair and called it a dragon. So sometimes I guess hair is just that's just their thing. But I guess talking about Magnemite, they did kind of figure out how to do Magnemite, you know, an evolution beyond Magneton. But like Magnezone is obviously not just like 5 Magnemites thrown together into a Pokemon. It's like very different design. I guess maybe you could figure out, you know, Doug Trio in the same way as Magneton. Like, it changes. Yeah, like, I guess you could do one really big Diglett and maybe, like you make the one center Diglett bigger and make the other one smaller. But again, it's just like, I don't know. It feels tougher for some reason. Because, like, with Magneton, it has the benefit of, like, being an inanimate object. So, like, you can mold an inanimate object into whatever you want. And it's just kind of like, okay, it's another magnet in some way. Diglett and Doug Trio are still living creatures, you know. They're really just penises coming out of the ground, but like they're living creatures. And so like molding them and morphing them into something else like gets maybe a little Lovecraftian, and it's like, maybe not. Let's not touch that. So that might be the hold back for good old Dougie there. Don't get me wrong, Ryan. Mega Ampharos, I love Mega Ampharos. Looks great. You know, the hair is quite fantastic, quite fabulous. But it is a little bit of like a why was a big old mane of hair the only real design change, and how does that make it a dragon? That's my biggest question. If you want to say that Mega Ampharos is a electric fairy type, I get it, okay? You know, the hair making it like fabulous and like a fairy. I kind of get that. Why does the hair make it a dragon? Hot dogs are faster than all Joe. Dun, dun, dun. Growing long makes you a dragon. I guess if you grow more serpentine, yeah, but like growing long hair, I guess like it's kind of like with a Alolan Executor. I guess if you grew Ambros's neck a little longer, maybe. Dugtrio, Dugtrio is very fast. That is true. Which Pokemon speeds are just very interesting. All over the place. Like, Miltank is faster than Rayquaza. So let that sit in. The Guardian of the, sky is slower than a cow. Shoot, I think Perugly is faster than Lottie, the Lotties as well. So a fat house cat is also faster than a jet plane. Pokemon speeds are quite interesting. That is fair. Raging Bolt is also has the long neck and dragon syndrome, so that is clearly a thing. Why am I not running? What are we doing? Oh no, my DS is about to die. How did that happen? Had you fully charged before we started? What is going on here? Okay. Now my one is not responding. What is going on? Why is my one game not responding? Come on. Oh, that's true. I completely... Yeah, we just passed the halfway to odds mark. We got over the 4,092. Right about that there. But I still have faith. I have faith we will... I don't think we'll make it odds. I don't think we'll do it. I think we will manage to get this under odds. I have faith. Yeah, but to be fair, Bonsly is a baby made out of rocks. And Kyogre is an orca. A living animal that famously is not as hard as a rock. Like, you were to take a common knife, stab a rock, you ain't doing anything to that rock, even if it's a small one. You take a knife and stab an orca, it might not hurt it as much as you know, it's a big animal. The little knife might not be doing very much. By the way, PETA, I am not endorsing taking a knife to any orcas. I love orcas. In fact, I think SeaWorld should shut down. Anyways, getting that disclaimer out there, but trust me, an orca will feel that knife more than a rock will. Yeah, I mean, I guess like the idea there is like pickaxes, you know, things used to excavate rock are made out of the metal typically. You know, an excavator that you would use to like clear out, you know, a mountainside to, you know, to create a tunnel or something, dig through rock. It's going to be made out of steel. So it makes sense that steel would be super effective against rock. And then I think I've said it before on stream. The reason why water resists steel is because, like, what's a sword going to do to water? You know, I can swing my sword at the ocean all day long. It ain't going to feel a thing. But I guess if we're going back to the whole like Orca thing, or Kyogre is a water type, so like as a water type it would be resistant to a knife made out of steel. But then like typings themselves are weird. Water is a little less so. Like water typically just encapsulates aquatic animals. Sometimes it's quite literally water, like cast form, rain form, and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's all over the place. What about poison against water? I guess my thing for poison and water will be that you can put poison into water, but it'll poison the water, but it's not hurting the water, it's hurting anything that drinks the water, Like, you take a glass of water, you pour some, I don't know what in there, something that's, poisonous. The water's nothing's happening to the water. You pour some freaking boom slang snake venom into water. Not doing anything. You go drink that water, it's gonna hurt you. I don't know. Because you don't poison the water itself, you poison the effects the water has on things that absorb the water. But yeah, types are all over the place. Some of them elemental, some of them like mystical, some of them are literally just catch these hands. Some of them are I'm a rat, Pokemon types are kind of all over the place. But I mean, yeah, talking about like ghosts and swords and stuff, like talking about these ghost typing in general, I think it's funny, like moves like tackle, I'm a man, my voice did not crack there. Moves like tackle obviously don't touch ghosts. Like you can't tackle a ghost, obviously. You're gonna go right through it. It's spectral. But according to Pokemon logic, you can bite a ghost. You cannot tackle it, but you can bite it. Also, if the ghost is holding an item, you can't mega punch a ghost. It's immune to that. But if the ghost is holding something, you can just slap it real quick and you knock that item out of its hand. That works. And it hurts the ghost. Did they make a new type in the DLC of Scarlet? I mean, technically, yeah, they made the stellar typing. It like is a new typing, but it's not really a new typing because it's only a typing in battle that you achieve like through another form. Now they have marketed as, they said it was like, it is the 19th type, but like it's not really a typing. Roost, what up? Did you see all your shiny luck on a Cobblemon shiny? What Cobblemon shiny did you get? Are they not like really boosted odds or something for Cobblemon? I feel like I've seen PM7 and M&J TV play Cobblemon together recently, and they found like a lot of shinies. So is like the shiny odds not like really boosted or something? Oh wow. I didn't realize they had 1 in 8,192 shinies, but I mean that's still pretty cool. Trico has an amazing shiny, so I get it. I get it, but like, that's still pretty cool. I've always wondered what it'd be like to be someone who just starts up a new game and like isn't looking for a shiny, but still finds a shiny starter. Like what, you know, what was that feeling like to start up a new game and be like, I'm just playing for fun. Oh snap, shiny. I didn't want to say Dugtrio was my favorite Pokemon. Everyone asked me. I gotta be honest, Chuck. I would not ask because I would assume Cantonian Dugtrio is the only one that exists. Honestly, if you had not mentioned, if Lonk hadn't, oh, I accidentally attacked the unknown. If Lonk over on Twitch hadn't mentioned a Alolan Dugtrio with the hair, I probably would have forgot it existed, to be honest. Like, when you say Dugtrio is your favorite Pokemon, I would not even think twice about Alolan being a possibility. Dun, 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 dun. Never getting the... You'll get the genies. You'll get them. Sometimes luck, though. Sometimes luck has a weird way of, like, you just got that Trico. Over the next, like, 3 weeks, you'll probably get one of the genies. Like, your, like, luck will, like, roll in together, and, like, you'll get one genie. You might want to take a little step back, maybe do another hunt. Because then maybe the luck might have, like, you never know when the luck might dissipate, but, like, the shiny luck tends to, like, roll together, I feel like. So, maybe, I think one of those genies might actually be shiny for you. Here soon. You got a shiny Zekrom in the wormholes of Ultra Moon. Nice, very nice. I think I only ever got one shiny in the wormholes. I think it was a Grumpig. Maybe. Was it Grumpig or was it Swellow? Or was it Altaria? It was something. I got some random Pokemon as a shiny in wormholes. That was like it. I did not do much shiny hunting in the Sun to Moon era. In fact, I did shiny hunting a lot during X and Y and Oris, and then after that, I didn't do any shiny hunting until last year, really. Not early game. Blissey is best Pokemon in Hacked Mons. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Blissey is honestly a really good Pokemon. That's why for Kaizo Ironmon that I've been doing, Blissey is up there as one of the best Pokemons you could possibly get in Kaizo Ironmon. Obviously, Kaizo Ironmon is very different. I guess Hackmons is different as well. Like, Blissey just has a really high base stat total, and played Scarlet for the second time. I got Shiny Flamigo just playing the game. Very nice, very cool. Blissey with... That's fair. That's fair, yeah. Giving Blissey's HP to a random Pokemon does seem a bit overpowered. Very true, very true. Was anyone out there watch United Gamer, United Plays, Dylan? They were doing like a fusions. I think it was Dylan. I don't think it was Frank. I think it was for Dylan's channel. They were doing like a fusions video, and they fused Dusknoir with Blissey. We got Dussy, and it was so broken they had to nerf it for the next like fusions video they did. I guess that's fair. Yeah, Dylan does the fusion. I guess Frank, well, no, Frank doesn't really do fusions. He does like modified Pokemon that are just really broken and strange and funny. But yeah, I think, yeah, Dylan, they were doing something with with fusing Pokemon, and they fused Dusknoir and Blissey, and it turned into the unkillable, insanely tanky Dussy. To copy a fully evolved Pokemon, can you use the Eviolite? That's a great question. I feel like you would. I feel like since you are a Chansey at heart, Eviolite would always work. Even if you imposter yourself into like a Dusknoir per se. I feel like the Eviolite would still work. Because like, well, I guess, I don't know, like, maybe you are truly just transforming into the other Pokemon, so then it wouldn't work? I'm not sure. I'm gonna head out. Lonk, appreciate it. Good luck to your hunt as well. Thanks for stopping on in. Oh, I forgot to go. Alright, so I think I'm going to do 5 more unknown encounters. We're going to get up to 900 here, and then I'm going to let that hunt rest for a little bit, and we're just going to solely focus on Victini for, well, I don't know. We'll see. I might just take, well, like I said, we'll stop at good old, whatchamacallit, 900 for Victini, and then I think I'll take, what, I'm all over the place, unknown, you know what I'm talking about. Then I'll take Victini up to 4,200. That'll probably be it for the night. We're going to be getting to about 3 hours there. So about probably pretty good. But yeah, Blissey, Chansey, those are interesting Pokemon and for sure. But yeah, in singles, definitely singles competitive, they are really good. I don't think they do much of anything in VGC, but yeah, for singles, quite broken. I don't think any Pokemon was more happy to see the Eviolite than Chansey. Maybe Dusclops. Dusclops might be, it's like Chansey and Dusclops. 2 Pokemon that were like, holy shit, this Eviolite item is kind of good. Back in the day, I loved using Eviolite Prankster Murkrow in X and Y and Aurus free-for-alls. It was just a little menace. Like, I loved using it. It was so much fun. And like, because it was a Murkrow, no one ever targeted it. It was always like, oh, it's just a Murkrow. It's not offensive. We're not going to bother with it. So I just like substitute and Calm Mind and like Roost. It was just a good time, you know? It was fun. Those free-for-alls back then were so much fun. I wish that was still a thing that people were doing, and I knew people to do them with, because those free-for-alls were very fun. But we are going to take a break here on good old Unknown. We're going to call this one right here at 900, and we'll pick this back up at another time, and we'll just focus on Victini for the remainder of the day. We shall save the game there, turn it off real quick, and move over to our 2DS setup, and bada bing, bada boom, we are good to go. But yeah, isn't Dylan and Vinny, aren't they doing a subathon still? So it makes sense that they would be live. I know Dylan had like taken a step back from the subathon. I know they were doing it jointly together, but I think Dylan's wife or family, his family, I think, was having something. Remember him posting about, so he had to take a step back from the subathon. But yeah, I actually so funnily enough, I've tuned into their streams a little bit here there through the subathon, mostly on YouTube, but I randomly tuned into their streams on Twitch on different days. It was first Dylan, then it was Vinny, and I actually got gifted memberships to both of them and didn't even realize it for days afterwards, because I don't really watch Twitch all that much. So like, I went into Dylan's chat one day, like just to watch for a second, because I was on Twitch. And then like 3 days later, I got back onto Twitch and saw a notification and said, oh, you've been gifted a membership to United Gamer or whatever it was. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then like a week later, it happened to Vinny too. I just happened to pop into a stream on Twitch because I was scrolling through. And then 2 days later, I got back on Twitch and saw the notification. It was like, you've been gifted a membership to Nintendo. And I was like, oh, okay. Never been, I guess it's not called members on Twitch, it's subs. But I've never subbed to anyone on Twitch before, so that was I guess I technically still have never done it myself, but I've never been subbed to someone on Twitch before, so that was interesting. I've not utilized it in any way because I truthfully haven't been back to their stream since receiving the gifted sub, but kind of cool. I don't have Amazon Prime, so don't get the free one every month that they give you. And I don't watch Twitch all that often, so it doesn't really make any sense for me to sub to anyone. I do watch a lot of YouTube though, but I'm not a member to anyone on YouTube. I was a while back in 2020, 2021. I think I was a member on PokeRev's channel. If anyone ever watches PokeRev for Pokemon card openings. Back when PokeRev used to do his members openings, I joined his membership to buy into, members openings. Never had any luck there. Never had any luck. I had PokeRev open me a Neo Destiny pack one time. Cost me $850, $900, something like that. Got a good old Dark Macargo for my rare, non-holo. Card worth all of $8. So, if you ever want to 100th your money, not 100x, 100th x your money, buy an $800 pack of Neo Destiny. You will lose about $750 really quickly. And then I think one time I bought into like a members opening where he opened like a couple different sets from the Sword and Shield era. Maybe Sun and Moon a little bit as well. I think he actually pulled me an alt art out of Evolving Skies, which you would think like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Evolving Skies, that's the one with all the Eevee evolutions like Dragonite and Rayquaza. You were probably hyped as hell to get that alt art. No, I got the Medicham. Which is like the worst alt art in the entire set of Evolving Skies. You've got Moonbreon out here going for like $700-800 raw. Meanwhile, the alt art Medicham, which is equally as rare, by the way. Alt art Medicham, equally as rare as alt art Moonbreon. Alt art Medicham is probably like $15-20. I think he also pulled me a Shining Arceus out of Shiny Legends one time. But he stopped that a long time ago, so I haven't been members to PokeRev in a minute. Let's see. We're going to continue on up here until we get to 4,200, and then that'll be a night for us. Get to a good old clean 3 hours on the stream. Really did not think I'd be going for this long, coming back from a week and a half vacation. I figured this was going to be like a nice little hour and a half stream, but shoot, I'll knock out a good 600 encounters. Why not? Mm-hmm. 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 Did that count? Okay, I think that did count. Let's see. What time do I want to go to bed tonight? Probably should go... the responsible me would go to bed as soon as I get off stream. But the irresponsible me will probably be on YouTube for 2 to 3 hours after stream. So that's probably why I haven't done a good late night YouTube session in the office in a little while. So probably will be in here for a second watching some tube. Watching some YouTube. I feel like I shouldn't say that. I feel like there's some things that could be misconstrued by saying I'm gonna spend 2 to 3 hours watching the tube. Yeah, I don't think that's something you should be saying. Something sounds wrong there. Boom, 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 bum, bum, boom, boom. All right. Ooh, I guess we've got some more people here right now. Anyone pre-ordered a Switch 2 yet? That's probably something I should have brought up when even more people were hanging out in here. But anyone pre-ordered a Switch 2? Anyone able to pre-order a Switch 2? I personally have not and don't think I will be. I did see someone post online that like, maybe it's not all of the Switch games, but like some of the Switch 2 games, or like a lot of them are like you buy the physical cartridge, but it's not, the game's not actually on the cartridge. It's like a key card basically to download the game, something like that. Saw someone post about that. And I'm not sure how I feel. I mean, I do know how I feel. I don't really like that. I don't like the idea of physically buying a cartridge, but the game's not actually on the cartridge. It is just a download key. I don't know how I feel about that. Because it's like, you gotta assume that they're thinking in advance, because like there's no way you can go to that system and then like eventually whenever the Switch is like so old that the Switch Online is not supported anymore, like there's no way you would lock games to like being downloadable only. I don't know if I'm articulating this well, but like say 30 years down the line, the Switch is well past its life cycle. They've shut down all the online stuff. Like it doesn't work anymore. They would have to have some way for like these games to be able to be played legitimately, because Nintendo's so against emulation and everything. Like it would be really messed up to like buy what'll be like a retro game, in 30 years, a Switch game, a retro game. But then it's like you can't play it because the physical game itself is a key card, and then the key card doesn't work to download the game because the downloads aren't being supported anymore because the infrastructure has been passed up because it's so old, stuff like that. It just feels like, I don't know how I feel about that. It kind of feels like maybe Drew Gooden, or I don't know where the phrasing came from, but I feel like I remember seeing it in a Drew Gooden video where it's like things are moving to the point where it's like, or maybe it wasn't just, it's probably something I've seen stated online, sentiments stated online here or there, but it's like moving forward, it's like you'll never really own anything. You'll just be temporarily borrowing it from the person you pay it for. Person you pay for it. Like we're getting to the point where like everything's a subscription, everything is like borrowed media, like you don't own your Apple Music, your Spotify library. You're paying to temporarily have it, and then as soon as you don't pay for it, you don't have it anymore. So hopefully it's not one of those things, because that would be kind of scummy if the games are just like a download key, and it's like, well, do you really even own the game, even if you own the physical cartridge, if it's like just a download thing? I don't know. Not really a big fan of that myself, but throwing all that to the side, we got our last 2 encounters here of the evening to take us to a clean 4,200 encounters. Do we have a Victini? We do not. Shiny Victini has eluded us once again, assuming I have the code right. Assuming the code is right, we unfortunately have not gotten our Victini. So with that, I will run away from ye two, we'll run back out into the hallway, and I will save my good old game. And I am blanking on my outro. Yeah, as always, thanks to everyone who comes on out, listens to me ramble. Clearly I need to go because I'm losing it. Thanks to everyone who comes on out and listens to me ramble and rant, listens to me talk about crazy crap and Pokemon and this, that, the other. It's always greatly appreciated to everyone who joins the streams. And I might stream tomorrow to make up for the fact that I did not stream all of last week. Normally I don't stream on Tuesdays anymore, but I might stream tomorrow. We will see. And if I do, I hope to see everyone there.